Well, welcome back. And to discuss the implications and potential for a broader regional conflict, we're joined by Dr. Wissam Yassin, a researcher in international relations from Beirut. Dr. Yassin, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Dr. Yassin, thank you for being here. With the ongoing escalation in Gaza, including the recent devastating airstrikes on Khan Yunis, how is this affecting the political and security landscape in Lebanon? And are we witnessing a shift in the dynamics along the border?
Well, there is no doubt that Benjamin Netanyahu is still apparently is determined to proceed with what he started. But the prices that he is paying now, I think, will force him to rethink his options. Because despite what he's done, he has killed Sinwar in Gaza and a set of leaders, on top of which is Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon. And the Israelis in southern Lebanon, to be specific, is paying a heavy toll. In the past 24 hours, there were 61 IDF soldiers were injured from Golani and Igos and other elite troops. So in short, Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government is still cannot find an exit strategy from Gaza, and consequently they will not succeed in southern Lebanon because of the difficult terrain, the mountains, the caves, and also for the experienced fighters in Lebanon, which differ from those in Gaza. So he will pay probably a heavier price in southern Lebanon, knowing that the Israeli forces will not endlessly fight.
Now, there has been significant military activity along the Israeli-Lebanon border since the conflict began. Do you think there is a growing risk of Lebanon being drawn directly into the Gaza conflict, and how might this affect the broader resistance movements in the region?
Lebanon already is taking part in the struggle of Gaza since October 7th. But what's happening now is that from being involved indirectly in Gaza to being directly involved in southern Lebanon. What happened is that Israel has assassinated many leaders, on top of which is Hassan Nasrallah, and carried out airstrikes and thought that they have destroyed the bunkers which hold the armament of Hezbollah. So they thought that they could proceed on land and occupy a land strip in order to negotiate. But what happened is that despite all these airstrikes, Hezbollah have taken the initiative and reorganized their cards, and now they are fighting on land. And the Israelis are now talking after the start of the land operation, that they're talking now about 1,000 soldiers that are killed or injured. And on the other hand, the Israelis couldn't even take hold of a single village in southern Lebanon. They are afraid to proceed because heavy machinery will anti-tank missiles. And on the other hand, the Israelis also cannot use infantry in large numbers because this will make them suffer from heavy casualties because of the drones and the snipers. And at the same time, they cannot even proceed with a fewer number of infantry because they will be captured. But whatever the case is, southern Lebanon is paying heavily for what's happening, and they have no choice but to yield and to adapt negotiations.
Mr. Yassin, the humanitarian situation in Gaza continues to worsen under the blockade. And now we are seeing the effects spill over into Lebanon. With reports of shortages and healthcare facility closures, what measures should regional stakeholders, including Lebanon, take to alleviate the suffering of civilians?
What's happening with civilians happened in 1993, 1996, and 2006. So the Lebanese, they know very well if they do not fight back and be patient, the Israelis will continue until they occupy Lebanon as they did in 1982. The Lebanese government is doing efforts to circulate food and supplies among civilians. Hezbollah is doing so too. In addition, countries surrounding Lebanon are providing humanitarian aid. However, the displacement of people and carrying on the displacement will bring back the occupier. However, if they hold their ground, they might stand in the face of aggression.
Dr. Yassin, thank you so much for sharing your insights on this critical situation.